Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Today, we are going to be talking about the modern woman life cycle. So, many times we talk about the life cycle of careers, we talk about the life cycle of, a trend. But today we're going to talk about the life cycle of modern women. But before we start, please make sure you like the video on your way in and subscribe to the channel. So, the other day I was thinking, if I had a step-by-step, the other day I was thinking, so as you guys know, I moved from America to England and I interviewed 1,000 women on dating, marriage, and relationships. And during this time, you noticed a lot of patterns. So, for example, there were different archetypes of women that, even though they were in different women, they would maybe have the same patterns of behavior. And I decided to take you guys' collective experiences and mine and put together a modern woman life cycle. So the first thing we have is to go to some high-priced institution to get a degree no one cares about to put themselves into debt. Barely learn anything except how to use men for things. Now, a lot of times on this show, I get the Pearl, you don't know what you're talking about. Pearl, you're just making this stuff up. Well, let's look at the stats. 64% of student loan debt is owned by women. Women attending four-year institutions have an average of $29,611 in student debt, while those attending for-profit four-year institutions have an average of $42,778 in debt. The average student loan debt payment is $307. The average student loan debt for graduate school, if the woman continues her education, is $94,141. So if you go on a date with a woman who has a master's degree, she probably has about $100K in debt on average, meaning half of women have more debt than that. The most common graduate degrees for women is business administration, education, social work, elementary education, curriculum and instruction, educational leadership and administration, special ed, counselor education, nursing school, and reading teacher education. But, the modern women are strong and independent. We certainly don't need a man, right? That's what they say. We rely on ourselves, not simps. And as most of you know, I have been fighting on the front line of the simp epidemic for years. But I need to tell you guys about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on the show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what it was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at CHOQ.com are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stat contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in a double-blind human clinical trial to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. Okay. So the first thing we do is go to a high-priced institution, get a degree no one cares about to put us into debt. Now, the reason for getting this degree is not to learn, as IQ has been dropping for years and the people coming out of institutions have not been smarter. On top of this, at the schools, what we sign up for is propaganda and brainwashing. I don't even like the word brainwashing because it takes accountability from our choices that we make in life. However, they do rewrite history literally at these institutions and tell you that you're an oppressed victim and life is just really, really hard. And so obviously you got to go out and crush the patriarchy. And so you need to go out and get a job. Now there's two different types of jobs that you can go out and do. Number one is a salaried career, and number two is an hourly career. Now, the first part we are going to talk about is the salaried employees. 43% of women will experience burnout at some point in their careers. They usually experience burnout between 25 and 34. So, we go out and we crush the patriarchy and we think, oh, this is kind of hard. The men, they have to work till they're dead, but we go out and say we are burnt out between 25 and 34. The average salary for a woman in her 20s is $34,424. The average salary between 35 and 44 is $67,652. And the average salary of a 45 to 55-year-old woman is $69,628. Now, we do go out and do this, however, we do have a plethora of women quitting their jobs to be influencers. Now, I understand. I quit my job to start a talk show too. I did. I was a part of this LifeCycle. But, when you're in this industry, you do see how competitive it is. There are 10 women trying to take my spot daily. There is no greater job. I always say this. There's no greater job than having a talk show. I'm lucky. I thank God every day I get to do this. However, most women are not successful. And if they are successful, it's not for a very long period of time. So the average salary, if she's an hourly employee in the United States, what do you guys think it is? What do you guys put in the chat what you think it is? $15.47 an hour. On top of that, at school, there is a lot of discrepancy in what the average woman's body count is. How many bodies do you think women get a semester? Because according to studies, women are not able to stay with men long term if they sleep with more than 5. So on top of feminist propaganda, a bunch of debt and indoctrination, we also get the inability to bond for life. Ladies, we're going out and crushing this patriarchy. What do you guys think in the chat? How many bodies a semester? What do you think is the average? Does mouse stop working? Let me plug this in. Now, examples of degrees that are common with a low ROI that women get is a degree from the University of Southern California's USC Online Master of Social Work program. It costs $111,000 plus fees, and the average pay of a social worker is $67,000. Now, the average body count a semester, we have 5, 15, 6, 9, 7, who knows? There's a lot of discrepancies. 6. Okay, let's go with the most common. Everyone's saying around 5 a semester. That's the lowest number I got. Let's say it's 5. Let's say she goes for 4 years. 10, 20, 30, 40 by the end of college. Let's say 2 years she gets into a relationship. That's still 11. A semester is 6 months. Next, get a stressful job that does not care about them. And in reality, the job is not hard or stressful. However, women do complain about it. It's not like we're the ones digging the ditches, building the buildings, deep sea fishing in the sea. But we do complain them. When you guys think about who is striking, I can almost guarantee it's not the men killing themselves to get us oysters in Alaska, but rather the teachers that get 3 months off of the year and off at 3 o'clock. Now, the top 10 jobs that women have, the top 10 female dominated careers, because we got to go out and crush the patriarchy. 1, a skincare specialist, 99% female. Pre-K and kindergarten teachers, 96% female, making $37,000 a year. Skincare specialists make $43,200 a year. Legal, medical, executive secretaries, and administrative assistants make between $40,000 on the low end of those jobs and $60,000 a year. Dental hygienists make $87,000 a year. Speech language pathologists, about $90,000 a year. Child care workers, $30,000 a year. Dental assistants, $46,540 a year. Hairdressers, 92% women, make $35,080 a year. Billing and postal clerks make $45,590 a year. Phlebotomists, what the heck is, I don't even know what that is, $41,810 a year. So again, on average, the ladies are making average salaries with an average of $30,000 in student debt if they went to a public university, $42,000 for private. Now, obviously, once you get that debt, you might think, maybe I should live a frugal lifestyle. So the ladies, they get out of school, they get the average paying job, and we think, I could, A, live with a bunch of roommates, live outside of the city, never eat out, really only eat in, only do fun things that are free, no concerts, don't travel, live a very frugal lifestyle to pay this off. Or I could ignore the debt, buy a house, travel, and get a luxury car. And unfortunately, us ladies pick option 2, which is buy a house, travel, and get a luxury car. What percent of solo travelers do you guys think are women? 85% of solo travelers are women. What do you think the average car payment is for a car? It's $737. So on top of the student loans, got to get a new car. Then wake up at between 33 to 37 years old and rush to get a husband, kids, or both. The fastest growing group of single mothers is between the ages of 33 to 37. Only 2% of births come from insemination and 2% come from IVF. So where are us ladies getting these kids from? The first man available. It could be an irresponsible Pookie or Ray Ray. Or a desperate guy that is just looking for anything. Some pull it off with a buzzer beater baby and husband, which is to marry a naive or desperate guy with no options. Or get pregnant by a loser that doesn't want to be a dad. You know, a lot of us ladies want an invested father, but only some of us can get it. Unfortunately, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. The next thing of the modern woman life cycle is start antidepressants. So by the time we hit 40, life has kind of hit us in the face. We have a ton of debt. We might have Pookie or Ray Ray's kids or a schlubby husband that we don't really like and we resent because, you know, settling. So obviously we need drugs to help deal with this predicament. And that's when we start antidepressants. 24% of women between the ages of 40 to 59 take an antidepressant. Not to mention the wine addiction to help us cope with life. Now, some modern women do love their children. Unless the kids love the dad too much. Many women will hate the child because the child reminds them that they had to settle. Or of the dad that just wouldn't stick around. They also resent the father because they didn't want to be with him to begin with. And last but not least, buy a dog or a cat. 60% of pet owners are female. Women get a dog, and 50% of pet product buyers were between 25 and 44. So it's mostly millennial women. Now, I want to know, today I'm going to do a call-in show. So I am going to put a link in the chat really quick. And I want to know, how accurate is this model, and did I leave anything out? And what events can you think of that started the whole thing? So I'm going to go through it one more time. The modern woman life cycle. Number 1, go into some high-priced institution to get a degree that no one cares about to put themselves into debt. Barely learn anything except how to use men for things. Number 2, get a job that is too stressful and does not care about them. In reality, the job is not hard or stressful, but women will convince themselves that it is. 3, ignore the student debt, buy a house, travel, and get a luxury car. Wake up at 33 to 37 and rush to get a kid, a husband, or both. Hit late 30s and early 40s and try to get pregnant by a loser or choose IVF. 7, start antidepressants at 40. 8, maybe love the child, but hate him for having to settle. But hate the husband for having to settle. 9, buy a dog or a cat. So I'm going to put this in the chat, and I want to hear from people. Am I wrong? What did I miss? Let me join the Zoom link. Also, I have a couple announcements that I'm going to do while I'm waiting for people to join the Zoom. And the first announcement is that, guys, we are trying to get 3,500 members on the channel. Unfortunately, these ladies get real mad at me. They get real mad. They flag my videos. They get me demonetized on YouTube. They are very good at reputation destruction and trying to ruin your life. And they try to do that to me every day, including doxing my family. They do that all the time. Making up lies about me. And so I ask, if you can, go to theaudacitynetwork.com and go to the Audacity Network. Oh no. Go to the Audacity Network. Go to the Audacity Network. Go to the Audacity. 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 Okay, gotta leave that meeting. All right. Producer, if you're watching, it's echoing in my ear. I don't know how to fix it, but if you could message me on how to fix it. Anyways, they do try to ruin your life. They make hit pieces. They do all this crazy and whatever. It's find them on the internet. But as a thank you, could you guys please go to theaudacitynetwork.com? And you get access to all of the shows. These ladies flagged all my videos. I had to delete 3 years worth of work. Imagine working for 3 years. You're so proud. You made all this great content. I traveled to England, started a YouTube show. It was going amazing. And these ladies they say, Pearl, your opinions are too much. You can't have a talk show where you give your opinions. Flag. Flag, flag, flag. They say, Pearl, 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 Pearl. You're so evil. Okay, hold on. Let me put this in the chat. I'm going to put the Zoom link in the chat. Hold on, let's try this again. The mouse is, why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Okay. And anyways, so what do you get? What do you get out of joining my memberships? You're thinking, Pearl, why on earth would I have to download this? By the way, it is on the App Store. It is on both the Samsung and the Apple version of the App Store. But you're thinking, Pearl, why on earth would I download this app? It's annoying. It's off the site. Well, number one, normally, if you want your chats read, you will have to buy a super chat on a show. I do read the chats from the website. So that's one thing. Number two, you get access to all my old content. And 3, you get first access to our documentaries. 4, it's a good cause. It's a good, and we're eventually going to do shows specifically on the website, but okay, producer, can you just put the link in the chat? You got it. Put it in the chat. Okay. Keep your mic muted and your camera off. It is muted and off. It's still echoed. We'll see if that works. We will see. Okay, so now I'm going to read the website, speaking of which. Okay, the live stream finished on the website. No, it didn't. No, it's not. I don't know why it said that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, on the website, I'll top you off $10. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. I'm going to say Rich. I don't want to read you guys' names, so I'm not going to, but one person said, I may or may not have hit some of these points to myself to a degree with my youth. I was kind of forced to go to college, and I didn't witness it. At least I can admit I wasn't perfect. That's a great first step, Mrs. Ziegler. Richard says IVF is subject to many brain problems, Miss Ziegler. I knew someone who waited till after 40, bought an egg, bought the sperm, and used IVF to get pregnant with a non-biological child, just to be a mom because she waited too long and never got married. Rich says, my girlfriends hated it when their dog liked me. It is 100% a fact that antidepressants don't do anything. Let's see. Ms. Ziegler says, some could easily get more from just in one weekend. I'm 90% sure of women's body count by 40 is around 1,000. Being an employee these days is no more money. These days, there is no way money is half of what you need. It took me a decade to actually make a decent living as a dental assistant. Okay. And then Rich is good. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try going on the Zoom again, but it was echoing. Otherwise, we're gonna do the space again because I can't not have control of this. I'm gonna try it again and see if this works. Um, oh, shout out to, by the way, um, it is, if we get one yearly member a show, it's either 8 or 9 memberships a show or one yearly. It's $80 a year. Just saying, if you guys wanna, I'm gonna get this Zoom to work. Hold on, let me try it again. So I'm gonna need to control it. Otherwise we're gonna have to do a Twitter space. No, don't bring him up yet because I need to control the Zoom. So wait, okay, so it says I'm muted on here. Okay, I'm gonna hope this doesn't echo again. Compute, join with computer audio. Okay. Is it echoing? Oh, it's not echoing. Great. Okay. Okay. Then we got to figure out a way to. Okay, I think it's working now. Sorry guys, 1 second. No. I'm not doing Zoom unless I'm in control of it. One time, guys, someone flashed me and I just won't do it again. I won't. I can either X them immediately or I just won't do it. Make sure your sound is off and you can host controls now. Okay. Okay, let's see if you can bring them up. I need to, how do I make him bigger? So, can I hide this? Okay, I guess we'll just work with what we have right now. Okay, you can bring him up on the screen. Hello, David.
What's up, Pearl?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Where are you calling out of?
I'm in Texas.
Nice. So, what did you think of the modern woman life cycle? Was I accurate?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've seen it myself, like in my own life. Like, I've seen a lot of chicks that go to college and they like take out all this debt. They drive really nice cars and stuff, and they always end up single because the men don't want to deal with it, and they're always in a lot of debt and they're depressed or on
Mm,
antidepressants. I've seen it so much in my own life.
mhm.
It's crazy. Like the accuracy that you have is pretty spot on.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
And where did you don't have to say like the exact university, but did you go to a public school, private school?
So I actually, it's a funny story. I actually never went to college or anything. Um, I graduated high school and I just started working,
Mhm,
and like it's kind of crazy. Like I got involved with Bitcoin really early on,
mhm,
and made a lot of money from that. And I figured like why go to school? Why even try to do any of this stuff when it's all dominated by women?
mhm.
Like, it's literally just all women professors. They only really want you to join school if you're a woman. Like, they really press that really, really hard, especially in the area I'm in. I'm in a really liberal area, so, like, it's to be expected.
And so the women you're talking about, are they women you went to high school with and you saw them go off to get degrees? Is that
Yeah, yeah, and also just girls that I've dated, like, I've dated a lot of chicks around here, mostly younger than me, but they're always in college studying some sort of psychology
Mhm,
or some sort of like useless liberal arts degree and whenever they graduate they end up really not making any money, like they end up working at Starbucks or they're working at like fast food places. My last girlfriend, she worked at a fast food place, got a degree in psychology, she's in a massive amount of debt. I don't date her anymore,
mhm.
thank God. But yeah, it's so common and typical to see that stuff.
Mhm,
I'm 28 years old, never set foot in a college ever in my life, and I'm worth more than six figures.
mhm,
Like, I don't need none of that stuff.
mhm.
Never did.
And what's your opinion on what events caused this?
Oh, it's just the gynocentric society that we live in. Like, women are told that everything that they want to do is right, and you're fighting against the patriarchy and you're fighting against the
Mhm,
men. The men are evil. You got to outperform them. You got to, like, they have a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't make sense in my perspective because I'm thinking, like, why would you want to try to outwork a man? Like, why would
mhm,
you want to have that sort of life? Like, because from my perspective, it's like this none of the stuff that we do is easy. Like our lives are so hard and like
yeah.
it's actually difficult to make money and to like get people to respond to you and stuff. And it's like,
Mhm.
why would you want that for yourself? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me.
Mm.
But hey, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Is there any other thoughts you have, like stories that you've seen that kind of back up the life cycle or anything I missed? Feel free.
I mean, I could go on and on and on. It's crazy. Like, I mean, specifically, like my last girlfriend, like she literally is just she's literally insane. Like that's why I had to stop dating her. Like, what happened was like I was getting attention from a different like I told her that we weren't going to be exclusive because she
Mm,
was leaving. Like she's graduating and she was like she's not from here.
mhm,
She was leaving and she saw that I was texting another girl on my phone after I told her multiple times not to go through my phone because she
mhm,
was gonna find stuff like that. Like I told her straight up, I was like, if
mm,
you go through my phone, you're gonna find stuff from other girls because like that's just how it is for me.
mhm,
Like I mean I don't want to toot my own horn here or anything, but it's like I got other options.
mm,
And she got really, really mad about that. And then she went off and like, slandered my name to all my friends and stuff. And like it's just a big old mess. Like, I really don't even wanna get into that specifically, but they're just evil, like, they really just they don't wanna have any sort of, like, disadvantage. They want all the leverage.
mhm. What did she say to your friends? Was it like you cheated or what was the
No, it was okay, so my best friend, he has a sister, right?
Mhm,
She's probably I think she's, like, 30 something now,
mhm,
but she's, like, attractive, like,
mm,
she doesn't look bad.
mhm,
They come from a wealthy family and stuff, so, like, she's pretty attractive, and, I would just like, I followed her Instagram and like she would always be posting these thirst traps and stuff. And my ex, she like went through my when she was going through my phone, she like went and screenshotted a bunch of her thirst traps and stuff and made it seem like she kind of framed me. Like she sent all this stuff to my friend and like was trying to like frame me as like I was being a creep or something when I've never like that chick's older than me. I would never try to go after her
mhm,
in any romantic way, and it was just an easy attack vector for her, you know what I mean? And like they like they're looking at me like, oh, I'm a weirdo or something now, and it's like all over some stuff that this girl said
mm.
that was complete fabrication.
And did your friends believe her? Like, did they take
Yeah,
her
yeah,
side? Oh, they took her
that's the sad
side?
part. Yeah, they took her side. That's the sad part. Like I realized that these people weren't actually my friends to begin with
Mhm,
because if they were, they wouldn't have taken her side.
yeah,
It's crazy.
wow. Well, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna go to the next. Hold on. I think. Oh, I see. So I can do it. Oh, okay, guys. I'm learning. Guys, if you want to call in, um, go. The link is in the chat. Okay, someone asked me on the website. Actually, let me tweet. Should I tweet the link? You get spam sometimes when I don't think I'm gonna tweet it. So somebody asked on the website, and they said there is a how can you support my work? Okay, there's a couple things. Number one, monthly or yearly membership on the website. Well, you can donate memberships so your friends can join. You can also, there is a membership tier where you get to meet with me once a month. You can do that. You also get access to my old content. We also have a GoFundMe, the link's in the description, that we're raising money for a documentary. We need about 100K to put it out. Again, when YouTube cuts you off, this is just the way you do it. So every story is going to be a shit show. All right. Well, guys, put your story in the chat. So I'm going to tell you guys a story of a guy I worked with a couple of years ago. So there was, I worked as a saleswoman. Like before I did this, I worked in copier sales. And essentially, it's a really shitty job, and most people don't make a lot of money doing it. So they get like fresh blood where you're excited and happy right out of school, and they just put you in this job. So I'm there. One of the guys I worked with told me that he had a girlfriend that destroyed his room. She went into his room and just tore everything apart. Like his bed was ripped. His pillows were torn. His all of his, he had like a guitar, it was smashed. And I can't remember why it was. I think it was because she thought he was cheating or something, but I didn't even really think he was the cheating type. I mean, all men will, but it wasn't like he was like a killer, There was another time where my brother, so I have a little brother, and he's just always done well with the ladies. The ladies just love him. And I could see why, because he's like, I love him too. He's just a great guy. He's hardworking. He's smart. I don't mean to toot my brother's horn, but he's amazing. And he was dating a girl. And this woman, when I started on TikTok, decided that it would be appropriate to message me, his sister, all of her grievances with my brother. Now, as you guys know, I am not the one to feel bad for you. Because this is the thing, my little brother. He is he's the type, he does things his way. And the ladies, they always try to change him. They're like, be different than who you are. Well, if I'm a sister, I love my brother. Why are you trying to get me to change my brother, you crazy bitch? And I thought, my poor brother, this is the list of women he has to pick from. This is years ago, by the way. This is nobody recent if someone knows me watching the show. But, and, let's see what else we got. You have to let people in, go to participants, and allow them to join. Okay, wait. So, participants, I might have to make a... I think I can... So we might have to do this next show, because I think I'm having an issue. Oh, who can collaborate? Show the participant. Well, I don't think anyone else is in it yet. Let me go back to the modern woman life cycle. Yeah, so, my question is to the fellas out there, have the women you've dated followed this life cycle? Which I will repeat, there's people that tune in every time. The modern woman life cycle, what exactly it is. What the heck? Oh, here we go. Number 1, go to some high-priced institution to get a degree no one cares about, to put themselves into debt, barely learn anything except how to use men for things. Get a job that is too stressful, that does not care about them. In reality, the job is not that hard or stressful, but women do convince themselves that it is. Step 3, ignore the student debt to buy a house, travel, and get a luxury car. Sometimes quit your job to be an influencer. Wake up at 33 to 37 to rush and get a husband, kids, or both. Hit your late 30s and 40s to try to get pregnant by a loser or IVF. Start antidepressants at 40. Maybe love the child, but hate him for having to settle for the husband. Buy a dog or a cat. And do you know what I forgot? When do the ladies get fat, guys? I'm going to go back to the chat. Can you guys tell me when the ladies get fat? If a girl has a psychology degree, don't date her. Okay. Well, what age? What age are the women like? So I'm kind of playing with some eras too, I guess I'll talk about while I'm waiting for they said in their 30s they get fat. So there's a couple eras that kind of deter women. So it's like these are our life cycles, but we go through phases, right? It's not like we just wake up on antidepressants, fat, or whatever. And feel free, this is going to be Monday's show where I'm going to go in depth into these phases. But, women have a hoe phase. Now, for some women, this might be one night stand and they just move on. For other women, they do a decade of hoeing. You look at all her male friends, she's fucked all of them. You look at her personal trainer, screwed him too. Work colleagues, had sex with them. During the hoe phase, sometimes they get STDs that are incurable. Sometimes they get abortions, tattoos, and piercings. That's like a deterrent. Pew. Then after the hoe phase, obviously, we got to find ourselves. So now finding ourselves can be a prolonged hoe phase. Sometimes we get spiritual. But then, of course, we do the rebrand and hit the Christian phase. So, then, we do the Christian thing, but not like the character change or being a better person, but we start wearing Jesus necklaces and flower dresses. Then, comes the health phase. So a lot of times women get an STD and then it starts their obsession with health. So sometimes they get an incurable STD and they think, I am going to have to try to naturally heal this. This is like HPV, herpes. You can go on TikTok and you'll find women talking about how to naturally heal themselves from HPV and herpes. My God, I'm like, who are the doctors selling them this bullshit? But luckily, women will waste money on things to make them healthier. They'll convince the women that there's birth control in the water and there's like seed oils making us fat. But really, it's just our poor choices like bottomless mimosas at brunch, eating too much, liquid Starbucks calories. But during the health phase, we also go to overpriced gyms. Equinox, yoga classes, HIIT classes. This can be up to $300 a month. So, they will waste money on a gym memberships they don't need. During the gym phase, they may sleep with too many men at one gym and then go to the next gym. Sleep with too many men there, go to the next gym. Hook up with too many there, go to the next gym. Then, again, back to the healing phase. They obviously, that's like, because, when women do hard things, they view it as trauma. And so, that's when you get the fat women, like after they do the gym phase, then they say, you know what, I have trauma from this eating disorder I had when I was trying to lose weight. Next, we have the influencer phase. This is when you quit your job to be an influencer. I've seen TikToks of women that are doctors, lawyers that quit because they want to be what? An influencer. Then we have our career era. This is where we try to compete with men and then burn out and fail. There is a decluttering era. This is where marketers market to women, selling us decluttering stuff that we don't need because they know we are addicted to Amazon and nothing will stop us. Raise your standards era. This is when women try to sell a used product for a higher price, and there's always a simp that signs up. Independent women era. The above it all era where women act like they've learned from their mistakes and petty drama, but really they do the same things over and over again. Raising kids era. This is where women use their kids for clout. Why be a mother when you could be an influencer mother? Divorce era, where there's another healing journey, where they go on trips and go to the bar. Now, I've been playing with a couple options of boyfriends that women get during each phase of their life. And you guys can contribute in the chat. I've noticed that women, when we get boyfriends during our 20s, there is the alpha guy. This is a personal trainer, musician, the more exciting hot guy that cheats. And women never get over it. They will be talking about that man that cheated on them 5 years ago. Then there is the beta guy who doesn't have any standards. So the women will give up nothing in order to be in a relationship with him. And essentially, he acts as an accessory in her life. Now, you might think, I always used to think that women that posted their boyfriends a lot were really into their boyfriends. And I actually have changed my mind. I think the women that post their boyfriends a lot have no fear that he will ever leave and are trying to signal, look at the investment I got. Where women that post their boyfriends less don't want to post him because a girl might slide into his DMs and he might actually do it. Oh no, hold on. I got it unplugged. The boyfriends women in their 30s, women enter their gold digger era. This is where women, above all else, prioritize money because they think my beauty is fading. Who is going to pay for me the rest of my life and all of my bad decisions? Beta guys are often friends with benefits guys. Guys, the link is still up in the chat if you guys want to come up and let's see if anyone's joined. Did we pin the tweet? No. Hold on. We want to pin the link for the call in. Let me pin this. There we go. Now, I'm just sort of playing with these. You guys are welcome to contribute. What other eras do women have? A nesting phase. The shopping era. Oh, the situationship era. Wait, hold on. The situationship era. The shopping era. What would you call it? What did they say? Pearl Daily is the host now. I'm going to read from the website 1 second. Okay. There is a donate button in the chat too. Every story is going to be a shit show. Pearl, I don't have any dating horror stories. Deej is the only woman with standards low enough to date me. We were 17 and 18. We're boring. Pulled an Amber Heard. When I was in Toronto, I switched to a 30-year-old Chinese nannies for about 2 years, and that was plenty good. Wow. Earth girls are easy. The biological clock age. This is when women do not prioritize love, but they prioritize their biological clock. That is a great one. The biological clock. Biological clock era. A nesting phase doesn't have to be a negative. Oh, you know what? The abstinence phase. This is the phase where women claim they are sleeping with nobody, but really are sleeping with somebody. What women, but they have to market the abstinence to a simp. The misandry era. Ooh, these are good. All right, what else do we got in the chat? So, what are we talking about in the Zoom? The question is, I read The Modern Woman's Life Cycle. I want to know, is it true, and what do you think contributed to it? How accurate is this model, and did I leave anything out? How accurate is this model, and did I leave anything else out? I'm going to tweet also and tell the ladies on Twitter. Ladies on Twitter, who have so much to say. I am accepting call-ins on YouTube. Click the link in the Zoom. Let's see. Okay, the other question I have for you. I'm moving, as you guys have noticed, I'm moving my show time to a later time. I have considered doing a full-on night show. I don't know either way. I haven't decided yet. I sometimes think we would get better callers if we did it later in the day. I want to know if this is true for you guys. Anyways, the new cat owner era. Every chick goes through a wildly hippie phase. The hippie phase. Okay. Okay, well, guys, we're not really getting any callers today, so I think I might end the show. I'm interested in hearing from the ladies as I am interested in hearing from Justin Trudeau. You know, never date a woman with kids. Oh, a cougar phase. That's a good one. The cougar phase. Where I'm gonna do a show Monday on all of the different phases. The don't shave your legs is part of the hippie era for sure. The don't shave your legs. Oh yeah, a woman should call in and ask what era they're on. The cougar phase, aka the public property phase. Non-monogamy era. Okay, well, guys, the bitter era. You guys are getting good. The swap your wife era? The swap. I'm just writing some of these down. Swap your wife era. Okay, the poison the coffee era. I've never known a woman to be abstinence toward longer than 15 minutes. Witchy crystals, sage. Okay, so the witchy crystals, sage. The yoga phase. I'm back to work next week, so it doesn't matter what time you're on. Guys, give Pearl more ideas so she won't end the show. The starter husband era. My grandkids won't visit me phase. My grandkids won't visit me phase. So there's an era for everything. I'm lost. Really, it is. Oh, the trad wife era. The wine mom era. The playing it safe era. I mean, a shoe collection phase. Isn't that just all phases of a woman's life? I need to do a segment on the... Okay. Okay, guys. Well, how are the viewership going up? It's going up right now. I'm really confused because this is... I guess you guys like collaborating with me, huh? Okay. Like the video while you're at it. Like is free. No, I mean the women themselves are the ones that talk about these eras and these journeys. Like, what are the journeys women do? Like, why is it eras and journeys? Why isn't it just living? Why does it have to be like a marketing? I thought to myself, we really blame these institutions for selling us ladies degrees that we don't need when we're like begging to waste our time? It's, now that I think about it, we keep saying to men, please lie to us. Please waste our time. And the men said, no, I want to treat you right. I want to be a gentleman. And we said, please lie to us. Please waste our time. And the men said, are you sure? I mean, I'll be a gentleman. I'll keep being a gentleman. And we said, nah, that's boring. Nah. And they said, F it. It's time to waste your time. And it was the same thing with the universities. They used to teach us things. And then they said, oh, really? You guys want careers where you don't make money and you want us to teach you nothing? And we said, please teach us nothing. And the university said, are you sure? Are you sure? And we said, please, I don't want to study important things. Please give us the easy things. I want to study myself. I want to get a psych degree. And the university said, this is the ROI. Are you sure? Okay, you can do it. Oh, the self-discovery era. Okay. The we should wait until marriage era. The Botox era. The girl math era. Okay, this is way too many. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to end the show today. Oh, I have 3 callers? What the? Why can't I see them? It doesn't show me like can't I see them? Oh. Make sure you guys have your cameras on and your mic on. I'm gonna kick you if you don't have your mic on. Why can't I kick him? Okay, I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, more. Remove. There we go. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna do the next one. Make sure you guys have your mics and your cameras on.
Yeah. Yeah, I have my mic on.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
You
How
got
you doing?
you gotta get a better like a quieter room. The air conditioning's kind of loud.
Oh shit.
It's
Right,
it's
yeah.
okay. It's
It's
okay for now, but just like
oh no, sorry man, it is my computer fan
oh,
actually.
it's the computer fan. Okay. So, what
Yeah.
did you think of the modern woman life cycle, and did you think it was accurate?
Yeah, there's some definite accuracies in there, some definite sort of common stages, I reckon, for sure. Some of the later ones were a bit extreme, bit sort of nonsensical, but yeah. The first ones like were all pretty cogent.
And was there anything I missed? Any eras that you think, or any steps that I
Um,
missed?
Yeah, hang on. There was one here that you didn't call out. I think. Oh, what was it? Let's see if I can find it. No, it wasn't that. Oh yeah, I think we should wait till marriage era. That's the one you've mentioned a few times.
What age do you find? Have you found that in your dating experience?
I know the type. I've been around churches, many churches. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And what age do you find women enter that era?
Um, Well, it's pretty much like you say, like once their beauty starts to go, they start to sort of think tactically, I guess.
And what events do you think started this whole thing?
Um, what events? Take it back to Seneca Falls, I guess. That's pretty much where I'd take it, I guess. Back to Seneca Falls.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling in. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and one more thing, Pearl. Like, what the hell is going on with your YouTuber subscriber count?
What about it? It's been the
Well, I
same.
mean, it was 1.99 for ages. You never quite made it to 2 million. Then it started coming down.
I know. It was
Oh,
tough. I
that
had to delete like 10,000 videos. So I used to
what?
get like subscribers every month from those
Uh,
videos. And then it like tanked. Like if you look at my analytics for my channel, there's one month where it just dropped. And it's because
yeah,
normally on a channel you can like build, so you have super viral videos and they'll still like make. But
yeah.
yeah, YouTube just, I mean, they kept flagging my videos. The ladies, I do streams like this and they get mad and just start flagging. They find something, and
Yeah,
yeah.
obviously,
So I had to make a decision to just clear it or try
yeah,
to like it was just too many videos to go through one by one. I just said just clear it.
yeah,
So
man.
now they're on my
Yeah,
website.
anti-Semitism's never been popular on YouTube, though. Not since I started watching YouTube, like, anyway.
Yeah.
Not to YouTube, anyway. Anyway, yeah, take care, man. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Have a good year. All the best.
Okay. Okay. Next. No, that was someone was here. It said Chris's iPhone. Where'd you go, Chris? What are you doing? Let me read the thing on the website. They said feminism along with social media. The guy has a nice chair. Um, Being a single guy sucks at the moment. I spend less money with a 2-week flight round trip, food, hotel to South America than trying to go out with a modern American chick. Um, okay, so on the website, I want you guys, if you have a comment you want me to read, because you guys talk to each other, and I think sometimes reading all of them, put read Pearl or like read in caps and then put 2 dots and put your comment. The Zoom is asking you for a password. That's weird. It shouldn't do that. It should put you in a waiting room. Every day I will struggle with this stuff. Is there some way that your subscribers can help you push back against the people and women who are flagging your stuff? Honestly, the only thing we can do is to get enough people on the website so we're free. Because, there's very few people that can pull it off, but like Crowder, he doesn't care if he's monetized on YouTube or not because, uh, he has enough members on his website. So the best thing you can do is get your friends to sign up. That's really the best thing you can do. Where is? Let's see what he says, but is it still saying you need a password? Let me look on the. Have I done a show on Tom Brady? You know what? I have to say, I've noticed Leonardo DiCaprio's exes. He is just the kiss of death on those women's future relationships. So I did see Tom Brady coming. I think I'm going to have it on the record. I think that Blake Lively is next. She will go through a divorce. That is my next prediction. Looks like you have some sort of password set up on your settings. Okay, let me see if I can fix it. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay. Hello.
Hey, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. I think they might take a second to make you full. Yeah, there you go. Hello, how are you?
All right.
So what did you think of the modern woman life cycle?
So you talking about everything you've been talking about the past
Yeah.
30 minutes or so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I just think that there's so many opportunities to go to college now
Mm-hmm.
and learn absolutely nothing of substance and just waste money and get into debt and it's kind of like it's like a high school part 2. And so I just don't think that, going to this extended, there's a psychological term, it's called neoteny.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, it's not psychological, it's biological. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a biological term called neoteny, and it's the retention of juvenile features into adulthood. And I think that's a lot of what's happening in college. I mean, with men and women.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it definitely it extends into getting all these useless degrees that don't really they don't really translate into going out and doing like an actual real world service. So
And
like,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 44.
And have you seen the women in your peer group go through those stages where they get into a lot of debt? Like in the women you've dated, is that something you've seen where women get into a lot of debt? They go to school, they get a car they can't afford, buy a house they can't afford.
Yeah, I mean, people are buying all kinds of stuff that they don't need. But
Hmm.
I mean, like I'll give you an example. So like I'm a commercial driver. I'm a Class A driver. I'm a truck driver.
Hmm.
Okay, you can go out and you can go out and get a CDL for $3,000 or $4,000 and turn around. I mean, the turnaround time is, or you could go to. I got mine paid for by the Department of Transportation
Hmm.
for free, but the turnaround time on that is about anywhere from 2 or 3 months to 6 months, and you can be making up to 70 to $100,000 a year.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't, not that I don't make that much, but my point is though, is that you don't have to go somewhere for 4 years and then get into $100,000 in debt
Hmm.
and get a degree in underwater basket weaving and get out and make 30, to 35K the rest of your life and try to pay off these loans and stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of blue collar work, but I don't think a lot of women want to do that type of stuff because it's hard.
And when you chose your career, did you think about passion?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm ex-military. I've done a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I used to
Hmm.
jump out of airplanes. It was a long time ago when I was skinnier and braver. But uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought about I thought about passion way more than I ever did money.
Hmm.
And I can tell you, as a man, it it's not all women, but it morally disgusts me how some women are obsessed with money.
Hmm.
I just find it morally disgusting. Um, there's kind of this attitude of I don't think it's all women,
Hmm.
but among some women, they see something as being valuable because it's expensive, not because the item itself is functional or it works well or it's a good product. It's just they feel like they're elite, or they're above the table, or they're important, because they have things that are expensive, and that I never, as a man, think about something like that.
Mm.
So if I have a pair of shoes or boots or whatever, and they cost X amount of dollars, I mean, if I can go into a store and find it for a lower price, I'm going to do that. And I think some women have a different mentality where they think it's,
Hmm.
and go and buy a pair of high heels. There's stores in Dallas that sell shoes that are $15,000. I mean, I cannot fathom as
Yeah,
a
I can't
man how I
either.
would ever spend $15,000 on a pair of shoes. I mean, I'd have to be able to like fly around the planet in them or something if I was going to spend $15,000 on a pair of shoes, and
Mhm.
so, or a pair of, just stuff like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous to me that a pair of high heels would be $10,000 to $15,000, but there's ultra high end stores that sell stuff like that. And,
Mhm.
and to me, as a man, that kind of stuff would never really exist in my universe.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
No problem. Thanks.
Thanks. Where is? Okay, let me get the next person because I think someone else was in the waiting room. Oh, there we go. Hello, Paulo.
Hello, Pearl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Where are you out
I'm
of?
doing well. I'm very glad to be here.
Paulo.
Hello, Pearl. How are
I
you?
think you might have an echo.
I'm doing well. Okay, yeah, let me fix that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was listening about your model, and I think it was really interesting. I think what bothers me and what would bother most guys
Hmm.
are the lies. Meaning, a woman will say, no, I want that, or that is important for me, when in reality, they want something completely different.
Hmm.
And to the point that very often I think that women, not all women, but I would say lots of them, don't really know what they want. So they don't really have a goal. And then, just like you said, it will change. They will have like maybe the era, the hippie era, or I will tell you what, I think all women I ever went out with, I was always the second guy or the third guy, always. So either all of them were lying or I'm really special.
What do you mean you
So
were always the second or the third guy? Oh, that you
they
that
would,
that they slept with.
exactly. Yeah. Like,
Oh, how
oh,
old
you
were they?
are
How old were they when they told you that?
20, 30,
So they would say they were
something like
30
this.
and you were the second guy they'd been with?
The second or third, or then there would be
And
variations
and
about
the
that.
average
Like, oh,
age.
you are the second or third guy that I ever fell in love with, or you're the second. I had a special person forever ago, but now I came to know you and you are the love of my life. My point is, there's always something that I'm gonna make you feel really special, even though it kind of sounds like a lie to me very often.
Mhm. Did you believe it?
Not at all.
Oh, you didn't?
Uh,
None of them.
after
None of
after
them.
like the fourth
Oh,
or
so like
fifth time, I'd say, yeah,
the first time you
I see a
believed
pattern
it.
there.
So the first time you believed it, but then like the next time you were like you wised up.
Exactly. Yeah. The first time I probably believed every little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then after a certain point, I think we learn.
Is there anything I left out of the model? Like any eras I forgot about or any stages in the modern woman life cycle I didn't include?
I cannot really think of one. No, I think you
Mm.
covered it all.
Eh,
I really liked. I loved your videos. I think a few months ago that you had a board like a flip chart in the background, and then you'd go into real big detail about those little things and how
Mm,
it works, and pretty much a real like a mechanics of the relationship. So
mm,
I really like that.
Thank you. And what events can you think of that started this whole thing? Like in your lifetime, were there any events that you think really impacted the women you knew, or maybe something in the culture, music?
That is a very good question, but maybe if you're asking me how far does it go, I have no idea. I think that's a very old thing. Maybe I think it'll be very easy to point out to the 50s and 60s and the woman liberation movements and this kind of thing.
Hmm.
I think it's and the when women needed to go into the marketplace. I think those things changed the laws and the societies and how people perceived women
Hmm.
and yeah, but I think it goes. I have no idea how far back it goes, but for sure, with social media and Instagram and TikTok and the globalization of the love market,
Hmm.
all of those things does not help.
Hmm. Did you notice a difference when TikTok came into the picture?
I noticed a difference when social media came into the
Yeah.
picture more and more, like
Hmm.
10 years ago or so. But yeah, I always noticed a difference in terms of behavior. I would feel since I was a teenager, I would notice that people would very much mimic how people spoke in the movies and how people spoke and behaved in series.
Hmm.
So yeah, now with TikTok and Instagram, that we have like the this beautiful trailer of whatever people are living or are not living. Yeah, I think very often mostly women because I believe women are more
Hmm.
influenced by those kind of things that they will compare their lives and be sad to something that is not even real
Mm.
because people have filters on and they go to a nice place and take pictures and they're not really happy. I believe that I think you were talking something a little bit to that tune earlier
Mhm.
today that you have this perfect marriage. Yeah, like, oh, I have a guy. I don't want to advertise my boyfriend or my girlfriend
Mhm.
all over social media
Mhm.
and say, hey, look how great of a woman I got. Look
Mm.
how great of a guy I got.
Yeah.
Say, that's my private life. Why would I even advertise that? For me, it doesn't really make sense. I
Mhm.
prefer to keep my private life
Mm.
private. So
Mhm.
why would I have all this
Mm.
advertise of my great life? I don't
Yeah.
see why that would be the case.
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
You're very welcome, Pearl.
Get the nine. Okay, let's get the next person. I just saw someone in the waiting room. I try to give. I don't know why it's not. Pearl, you should have women call in. Okay, send this to your sisters, guys. I mean, like, I don't know what the ladies don't. I mean, they get mad at me. Do you know what I mean? Like they start they try to ruin my life the same way they try to ruin you guys' lives. Do you know what I mean? You're like, get the women, get the women. You guys get the women. Like what do you mean to have miracles here? Okay, like this eventually calls. Michael, are you at work?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What are you a cook or something?
I'm a private chef.
Oh, that's cool. What are you making?
Oh, I'm cleaning up. I work for the church.
Well, what did you make?
Oh, I did ahi tuna seared with kimchi fried rice and roasted vegetables.
Oh wow, sounds really good. What are your
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on the so how old are you? You look 30s? 30s?
yeah. I'm 38.
38. Okay, I see. I'm a good guesser.
Yeah. Hold
Uh
on, let me get in it because I was hearing like the other guy at the same time, so I didn't even know I was on yet.
you're okay.
Sorry
So
about that.
um I'm asking what your experience has been like witnessing the women in your age group that you've dated, that you know. And do you feel like my modern woman life cycle is accurate?
I feel like a lot of your points were extremely accurate. To be honest with you, to be straightforward, I'm like I just got like divorced this year.
Mm.
You know, we were together for like a couple of years and we had like all these plans and shit like that, and then I'm sorry about the language or whatever.
You're okay.
We had all these plans and stuff, and like to have a family and all this. You knew like what I wanted, and then as soon as we got married, I put a ring on it. She's like, you know what, I don't really know how I feel about kids anymore. I want to go get my master's. And I'm like, dude, you already have like 60 grand in debt and now you want to. And she had a great job as a paralegal, and she's like, oh, I want to leave my great job to now like become a history teacher. And she doesn't even know history like that. It was crazy. It was mad funny.
Wait, so she didn't even study because you could study history on your own.
I
Like,
know. We would have all these discussions. Like me, I'm like pretty big like Audible guy, and I like a lot of history and stuff like that. So we would like I would proofread and like edit her papers for her and stuff like that. It was wild. It was really wild. But I wanted to say one thing. I think the big problem with nowadays is social media, period,
mm,
and this status identity thing. Everything's like status as opposed to like substance.
mm.
It's like I'd rather look like everything's great than everything actually be great. And it was a really big problem I was having with my modern lady, because as opposed to us having a healthy relationship, it was more important for us to look like we had a healthy relationship. And then behind closed doors, it was pretty rough. Well, not on my end, but I,
What do you mean pretty
you know.
rough? Like, what were some of the things you experienced?
Oh, dude, yo, I threw a pillow at my wife one time playingly, and she like punched me in the face, like shit like that.
Oh, so
Like these women nowadays, I don't know about all of them, but you know, they get a little handsy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, I've
And
heard
me, like
that.
I'm Christian Catholic. Like I would never, I don't even want to put hands on another person unless I have to, let alone the woman I'm supposed to love.
Mhm.
So I never understood like that violence. But whatever, that's neither here
What?
nor there.
How old was she when you
We're
so you said
same
you're
exact
third
age.
what? So you're both
We're the
38?
same. Yeah, we're 1 month apart to the day.
And then she wanted to go back to school and get her master's instead of having kids,
As soon as we got married,
which was how long ago?
last I would well no last year was our 1 year anniversary. So 2 years ago, March 18th, right after St. Patty's.
Okay, so it was a pretty short marriage then. So you already
Yeah, shorter than I ever thought it would be, honestly. And she filed on me. She filed papers on, like, she kicked me out the house. I had to move into my apartment again.
mhm,
And I was trying to talk to her, this and that. And then, we weren't finding common ground. I don't want to like be nasty and like throw her under a bus or whatever. So I'm just gonna say we didn't find common ground,
mm.
you know. And yeah, so then one day I got mail at my job, and I had somebody process serve me at my church in front of like, and it was heartbreaking, man. I fell apart for like a good month, you know, and it was wild, you know.
I'm curious, how did your church react? Did they
Um,
did you both go to that church or was it just yours? Like
no, yeah, I was the only one. She wasn't really like she's not like a God-fearing woman. She's not really a believer, you know.
mhm,
We had a lot of differences, man. It was just really weird. I would say, just from my opinion personally, it's one of those things where, like you finally get what you want, and so now you don't really give a shit about it. It's like the child that wants the toy,
yeah.
like they don't care about it. It's in the dust until they see.
She had her wedding era, and then she was
Yeah, that was
done.
it. Basically, it was like, all right, Notch, here you go, checklist, be married, get my ring,
Mm.
and then the gaslighting forever, always gaslighting forever and a day. For some reason, no matter what men do, we never do shit. No matter what. I literally, like, when we met, I was a biker in a biker club, right? And
Mhm.
I was a part-time caterer. And she was like, well, we need this and that. We need stability and better money. So within a year, I doubled my salary. I make almost 80,000 a year now as a private chef. Full benefits, life insurance, 10 days PTO a year, 5 days sick. Like, I don't know anyone that has a job like this and I only work like 30 hours a week. So it's sick. I'm living good. And it kills me because, like, that's when she decided to be like, oh, this isn't enough. The bar just kept moving higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would take her on vacation twice a year, dude. Twice a year. 4th of July, she woke up. She's like, let's go to Vegas. Yo, 6 grand on a Vegas trip. And I'm told, like, I don't do enough. Da da da. So I feel like it's just like a status thing. It's like this. I don't know. I don't know, Pearl. Yo, you're one of the only females that make sense on this planet. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, cuz
Mm.
I'll let you know I'm from New York, by the way. So if you didn't
Mhm.
notice already.
I'm curious, what did she say was the reason the marriage ended?
Wow, how many reasons? Um, so this is gonna be there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of it was like me putting my foot down on things because I didn't like the way I was treated. I
Mm.
don't think physical abuse is acceptable at all.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then it became an issue because, like, her continuous lack of accountability and gaslighting created this constant struggle
Mm.
for power. It was this,
Yeah.
and for me personally, it was like my biggest gripe was like, "Yo, you're not even nice to me anymore, dude." Like, I came home with flowers and chocolates, make dinner. And when she's with her friends, she would brag about, oh, this and that, but together, like, I came home and felt completely unloved. And everything in her life was like her main focus, period, and not really our relationship. So it created a huge void because I felt like I was killing myself to be everything she wanted. And, like, I couldn't even get like a fucking hug when I got home from work, and a
Yeah.
kiss without her being like, I'm busy doing some fucking school paper or whatever. And so I was like, yo, do you think the best idea after you get married is to fill up your time with a master's degree as opposed to us, like, finding a way to come together as a couple first, you
Right.
know? So I can't even believe I'm on this call right now. You're the man, the woman, Pearl.
Well,
I'm like a huge fan. Just saying.
no, well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you for all. Like, you make me feel like sometimes like we're not crazy. Like that other people kind of think and see these things too. So it's
Yeah.
very refreshing. I appreciate you.
It's okay. They gaslight me too, these ladies.
Yeah, I bet, dude.
So.
I bet. I bet. They're the worst to you girls are worse to each other than you are to us. I can't even believe it. It's
Hey,
crazy.
they can't falsely accuse me, but they would if they could.
Oh, right. I can imagine so. All right. Well, you God bless you, and you have a great night. I'm gonna keep watching the show. Thank you for your time. I
Yeah,
really
thanks for
appreciate this.
calling in.
All right.
Yeah, guys, if you
Bye.
have a bye, if you guys have a ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, girl you dated, sister, whatever, I'm just curious you guys' stories, You could say, Pearl, you're completely off. This life cycle was super wrong. My sister went through none of those. Just call in, let me know. You guys can let on who's next. I like the personal stories of like event when I ask the question and I have the call in for you guys, I want you guys to tell me what happened specifically in your life. You know. We got Jonathan. Hello.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, just hanging in there.
Where are you out of?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oh, nice. How old are you?
I'm 33.
33. Okay. I like to know the age because then I kind of see what age group you guys are in, like millennials or whatever. So I'm curious from your point of view, was the life cycle accurate? Did I miss anything? Did I add
It's
something that's
it's
not
it's
there? Go ahead.
it's pretty accurate. I feel like a lot of women um are too heavily influenced by the music and um content creators like yourself, but that they're on the complete opposite spectrum of what you're doing.
Mm.
They're pushing these women to do things that realistically it ends up destroying them, and they don't realize it till it's far too late. And at that point, they're they're clueless as to why they feel the way they do.
And are you talking about women you've dated that you're thinking about? Was this sister, family? Like, who are you thinking of?
Well, women in general that I've tried to date or I've
Mm.
talked to. So um, personally, I've been single and celibate for like 12 years. The last girl I was with, um, I guess I technically cheated on her. I went on vacation with my family to Hawaii
Hmm.
and was on the beach drinking beer, and I didn't know it was 12%. And I had a 12 pack of Budweiser Tall,
Hmm.
and I don't know, halfway through it, and a girl and her sister came down to the beach, and I made out with one of them, and I guess I could have had sex with her, but I didn't, and I felt so guilty about it. And whenever I got home, I confessed to my girlfriend at the time, and she just broke up with me, and then 2 days later, I was having sex with some other dude, and she had the audacity to call me on the phone while it was going on. So
She called you during?
yeah,
Holy, where is she now? Like, what do you know what
uh,
she's doing?
I have no idea.
No, I want to see where she is in the life cycle because she's probably 33 now, right around the same
Um,
age.
well, I think she's closer to 28, 29.
Mm.
And last I checked, she was married, but I mean, from the photos, neither of them looked happy.
Oh no.
So it is what it is. I just kind of moved on with life, and just every woman that I've spoken to was either kind of in her hoe phase or kind of influenced by what was that, 6 foot,
Oh, the six
six
six six.
figures.
Yeah. And do you think it's harder to date where you live?
Uh, I mean, it's probably hard everywhere, but I mean, I was living in Tulsa until
Mm-hmm.
recently, and most of the women that I would, you know, speak to, they would either not want to speak to me or uh, they just wanted something different.
Mm. No, I'm just wondering, is the celibacy, is that like because the women aren't interested, or is it because of like religious reasons? Like you just don't care enough to.
Well, in my younger years, I was quite promiscuous,
Mhm.
and I kind of came to a realization that that was part of the problems in my life. So I just made a personal decision to wait until I found a wife, and
Mhm.
that just hasn't happened.
Okay. And the women making the bad decisions that you're describing, could you tell me, like, is it you're dating them and you find out they're getting in a lot of debt, or what's the can I get like a specific story maybe?
Well, let's see here. The last girl that I was talking to, um, we were sitting down, um, kind of like a little picnic thing, really. We have quick trips around here, and a lot of the quick trips will have like a, like a little picnic bench outside.
Mhm.
And we were just sitting outside. And, I was eating some ice cream. She was, I don't know if she was eating something, some fast food. Um, and it was kind of funny. She was a teacher, so what, 45K a year. And at the time I was doing facility maintenance, but I was making 55 a year base, but that year I made like 80K. And she heard me say 55,000 a year, and it wasn't but 5 minutes after that she ended the conversation, and I never spoke to her again.
How did the salary come up? Did she ask?
Yeah, I mean, I asked her what she did. She said she was a teacher. She asked me what I did, and
Mhm.
uh, told her I do maintenance, and
Mhm.
she asked me how much I made.
Mhm. Got it. So your experience is that like wow, that's so rude. I would never ask someone that. That's crazy. I've heard that like
I mean,
women just straight up ask it. Like, but I was always taught that's like a rude thing to ask somebody.
I suppose it is kind of rude. I mean, I don't mind. I suppose I'm a little too honest sometimes,
Mhm.
but it it is something that one might consider in a relationship, especially if they're looking to immediately have children. And with the way um, you know society is, and the economy, it is a heavy consideration.
Mhm. Well, thank you for telling me the story and thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and you and your crew and everyone else listening. You guys have a blessed weekend.
Thank you. Let's get on the next person. Um, running. We'll take one more caller, I think. Hello, we got Flow State.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. What did you think of did you hear where I listed the modern woman life cycle?
I did, but if you want to hit it again real quick, I wouldn't mind
Okay.
that.
Okay. So the modern woman life cycle is number one, go to some high priced institution to get a degree no one cares about, to put themselves into debt, barely learn anything except how to use men for things. Number two, get a job that is too stressful and does not care about them. In reality, this is a job that actually isn't that hard or stressful, but we convince ourselves it is. Ignore the student debt to buy a house, travel, or get a luxury car that we cannot afford, or a gym membership as well. Um, like Equinox, those. Wake up at 33 to 37 and rush to get a husband, kids, or both. Hit late 30s, early 40s to try to get pregnant by a loser or IVF. Start antidepressants at 40. Maybe love the child, but hate the husband because you had to settle. buy a dog or a cat. I want to know, how accurate is this model? Is there anything I left out?
Um, I guess my biggest gripe with it would be that it seems like it's universal almost. That seems like men could fit into most of those things except for
Well, we're gonna do
the
a
baby crunch.
we're gonna do a simp life cycle, but that's a different show.
Okay.
So I mean that's we are gonna do the life cycle of a simp. How do these men end up wifing these not? How does Nala get a husband? Well, there's a simp life cycle.
Is he a simp or is he a pimp? I think a lot of the porn star husbands I suspect are pimps.
Not that one. I wouldn't.
No.
I don't know. I've heard him I wouldn't say so. But is there
I don't know. I've never seen him. I have no idea about the dude, but
Okay, but I'm asking, how accurate is this model? Do you think it's accurate, inaccurate for the modern woman life cycle? And is there anything that needs to be added that's not true?
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. I think that you got it all. Again, I think that it's I would maybe move the antidepressants earlier.
Okay. Okay, what age would you
Ain't
put
nobody
it?
waiting until they're in their 40s to get on antidepressants.
Where would you put it? 30s?
I would put it
Late 20s?
at the beginning. That's genesis of this life cycle.
Oh, okay. Antidepressants. I'll add that as a note earlier. Like 22, give me an age.
Let's do 20.
20. Okay. And what's your experience been dating women? Like, what stage do you tend to meet them at this life cycle? And what's your experience?
I meet him about at the antidepressant stage. I'm 38 and I'm 38 and I've been basically in not the same relationship, but in a relationship since I was about 20. No, I have good experience with women. I don't have a lot of the issues of the guys that were up here before that I was listening to. So,
Okay. Are there any?
knock on wood, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been in a relationship since you were 20?
Not the same one, but basically, I have not been single for much of it.
Okay. And did you find the spending habits of the women that you dated been bad, good? If they
So-
were good, like what were their jobs? Like I'm trying to get specifics from guys.
Yeah, so my ex-wife was terrible. We got married right out of college, and really the main issue is that college is a different environment than the real world, right? So we could go and party together. We could walk into a party, and we were both fun and social and good looking, and could chug beer and all that stuff. But then when we had to go do real world stuff, make decisions together, that just wasn't happening at all. She spent money like a maniac.
Mm.
After I filed for divorce.
How much did she spend? Like what did she cost you a month, would you say?
When we were married, or what did divorce cost?
No, when you were married.
Um,
I do a show called What Do Modern Women Cost, so I just like to get ballparks.
So we got married in 2011, and I was making 60 or 65,000 a year there, about 65,000 a year. And so, we weren't going into debt, but just barely not going into debt. So
Okay.
every last bit of that was getting spent, and our living expenses really weren't that high. So however that maths out, 64 or 65,000 by 12.
Okay.
She had a little bit of income. We had a daughter at the time, who was a baby, but she had it was not really a real job. It was like hanging out and selling vitamins or some shit.
Yeah. And so who did you date next? What was your
So when I got divorced, I actually met my girlfriend who I'm with now. We've been living together. We've been together for 10 years or so, and we met at the park. I had just divorced, split up with my ex-wife, and got custody of my 2-year-old daughter. She had just split up with her husband and had custody of her kids, so we met at the park, and now we're one big blended family.
Nice. And what does she do? Like, what's her job?
She doesn't have one.
Oh, okay, cool. What did she do when you
No,
met her, I guess?
nothing. When I met her, she had literally just moved out of her husband's house and had moved into her mom's.
Oh, okay.
So
That's pretty rare because I think only like 12% or it's like up to 20, I think, tops of how women get to be housewives. It's pretty rare.
yeah. Now she has taken little odd side jobs throughout, you know,
Yeah.
the time, but my goal has always been to that she doesn't have to. She
Mm,
can if she wants, if she decides she wants to have something on her own or something to get out of the house or get her own money. However, I don't care. I'm fine with that, but I don't want her to have to supplement the money.
yeah.
So
And what do you think are events that contributed to these life cycles? In your lifetime, was there anything that you like remember maybe shifted the behavior of women around you?
well, I think that college is largely a sham now.
Mm,
Um, Federal loans are too easy to get, and you can never bankrupt out of them. So we've got two generations now of Americans who are basically indentured servants because
yeah.
they were told they needed to go to college and they didn't really get much out of it. I went to college. I don't have debt, but I don't use my degree. It's and I think that's the case for most people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think it's just that the sort of consumerism, capitalism, Western achievement mindset, right?
Mhm.
That you got to go be a boss bitch and get a job and have your own money. And it's not until you're out of time that you realize that working for somebody else actually sucks.
Mm, yeah. Well, thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you
Appreciate
for having me
it.
up.
All right, guys, what time is it? I gotta play. I'm playing volleyball tonight. So I think I can do one more caller. I know I said one more before. I think I got time for one more. It's only because the gym is next door. One more caller. This is my last one, whoever my producer picks. Sean, you're the lucky guy. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. What's good?
How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. So,
You
did
still winning, yeah?
yeah. So, I'm going to win tonight in volleyball, I'll tell you what.
I
The
hope so.
Thank you.
Don't lose.
Thank you. So, today we're talking about the modern woman life cycle. Did you hear me list the modern woman life cycle?
Yeah, yeah, you got it. You
Okay.
nailed it on the head.
Okay, so the question is, how accurate is this model? Did I leave anything out? And the more specific examples, if you think it's accurate, I'd like to know specific examples from your life. If it's inaccurate, same thing. Or if there's something I left
Yeah.
out, I just want to know where you guys got it from.
No, no, no. I say you'll be accurate. And also, I dated and lived overseas for about 20 years now. So that's not just the West, it's a global thing.
Hmm.
So I would say the only thing is sometimes, it's reverse. Sometimes the women do have the children early, but then they do all the other stuff afterwards. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they have the children, be in a relationship for about 15, 20 years, especially in a place like Asia. So, but later on, they're like, what did I do? Okay, now I'm going to go get that. Now I'm going to be a boss babe or boss cougar,
What
something like that,
age
right?
do they typically do that? Like if you catch a cougar in the wild, like how old is she usually?
40.
Oh,
Once they
40,
get
okay.
40, they out here wilding, Pearl. And they're like, they just do whatever they want because everything's secure after that point, you know?
Mm.
Like the kids are a little bit older. They're okay with it. They're like, okay, mom, do what's best for you. And then at that point, she's just hitting the gym, getting the dog, going to the spa, just the exit plan. It's living a good
And
life.
then the ex-husband, do they pay for it there too?
Yeah, it's pretty bad though. They set up like loans. You can go get a loan for
Mhm.
your wife if you need to pay for settlements for divorces. So
Mm.
that's a thing that's available. So you got to go out and get a loan and then you pay for her divorce and her exit. So guys will be like driving a taxi for hours trying to pay off the loan and stuff. It's crazy.
Where are you at? What country?
Well, I was all over, but currently I'm in Thailand,
Oh, okay. And are there any
down in
difference
Phuket for about 2 years.
where in Asia do they tend to do it? Like, where do they do the modern woman life cycle young, and where do they do it old?
Young, they definitely do it in a place like China, but it'll just be expedited a lot. You
Hmm.
get because once you turn 25, you kind of old. So that's
Yeah.
why there's a lot of leftover women. I would say maybe in like Southeast Asia, then they do it in reverse.
Okay.
They do it in
And
reverse.
so Thailand, would you say it's reverse then there?
Yeah, yeah. Thailand would be reversed. And definitely later on in a place like, because it's like about development. If the country's developed, they got more opportunities. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they could seize those early versus an underdeveloped or developing, then they'll go ahead and do it the other way.
And have you been single for most of the 20 years you said you were overseas?
No, I've been in relationships long term or long distance. Um, and they've been cool. They've been good, but always overseas. Always thought, dating outside your marketplace gave you a little bit better negotiating power and marketplace value.
Hmm.
But as far as being overseas, guys say, "Oh man, it's the West, it's decline of civilization." I'm like, bro, you don't know anything because guys over in China, they got to have a free and clear mortgage on a house and 3 cars, all paid for in order to get a mate. It's very hard. It's super hard globally for people to pair now with the world developing the way it is.
And you said in China they're leftover after 25.
Yeah, maybe like you could do 23. I'm really pushing it with 25, but
Hmm.
23 you kind of considered leftover. There's a whole name for it. And it's pretty hard, man, though. It's brutal to get a woman. You have to have like, you know how we got those little calculators that say delusional
Yeah.
and then they like put this in? Yeah. Well, over there, those girls have the calculator, but it's for like, if I look like this, if I'm this much weight and I got this, you have to make this much
So
on an annual basis.
they have to have a lot of single women then there too. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cuz
they have a good amount, especially in places like Japan. It's super terrible. I mean, like people haven't even dated in 7 years. It's like the government has to pay people to try to like get together and host events to learn how to talk to each other. It's pretty extreme.
And what about promiscuity? Are they less slutty there? Or is it similar? Like it's that way.
Hell nah.
Because I have one guy out of my show, Ryan Dawson. He married a Japanese woman, and he swears up
Hmm.
and down that Japanese women are not slutty and not like that. I I'm not saying they are or they aren't. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah,
women,
yeah.
so.
I would say for the most part, they could possibly be just more on the low about it, under the radar. I
Mhm.
wouldn't just say it's braggadocious in your face, like as it is in some Western countries. Like, man, I get it. You'll be like, what the heck? They're a little bit more, a little bit clandestine with it. You get
Mhm.
me?
Mhm.
So, but I would say I don't really think it was the whole social networking thing. I just people don't realize people got choices, and I just think it's just people. They make those decisions. They can decide to listen to Pearl, but come on, they're like, man, she telling me to do this, and I'm trying to be out here pursuing my goals. And most of the moms told them to do this. Hey, girl, when you get older, don't do what I did. Go out and explore, adventure, live your life. And so I think it's just people making their own decisions. They get influenced, yeah, but I don't think that's no excuse. It's just like you decide to do what you want to do.
Yeah,
Period.
you know what? I heard the same thing from African women. Like when I was in London, a
Mhm.
lot of the women that came on were like second generation, Nigeria, Zimbabwe,
Mhm.
Ghana, like a ton. And that was a really common story I heard was that their mothers were married for like 50 years or 40 years, and their
Mhm.
moms told them not to do it.
Psst, don't do what I
Yeah, that's
did.
exactly.
Hey,
And I'm like, "Does your dad know that she told you that?" And they're like, "No."
heck
And
nah.
I'm
He
like,
probably throw a fit. You know what I'm saying? She like they don't play. But she definitely go get your education. Go do this because a lot of them say, I stayed in it because I didn't have much of an option, is what
Yeah.
they'll argue. And so, yeah, it's just changing. But I think men's problem, most of it, is they're always trying to give women an out. Like, oh man, it's social networking, it's TikTok. That's the issue. Like, man, they're grown. They're making these choices. You get me?
Mm.
You got a dude say that his girl was hitting on him. Like, geez, Louise. So, I mean, people making decisions to do what they want.
What do you find the differences dating over there? Like, I'm an American woman. Does it take longer to like sleep with a woman there? Are they like are traditional dates more common? I'm just wondering the differences.
You know, they're gonna call me a 666. So, for me, it goes a little bit different. But but what I would say is that no, it doesn't. When I, tap into the people who are just like locals, and I have a lot of local friends, and they're getting raked off the coals, rich and just middle class. But I would say if you're dating overseas, the one thing that's just different is the landscape. Like in America, there's so much things that women can pull on, like the government, the
Mm,
rest of society, to you know what I'm saying, to interfere. And people mostly in the world they let people live. Like your family, your business. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
But we're always like interjecting. So I think that's the big difference where there is no child support. You get me? Like the Thai government ain't got time to be running around chasing dudes and figuring out like who's paying $10 and not. Like
Yeah.
they got other problems like road and water.
Mhm.
So they're just like, nah, you're gonna be homeless if you don't get the right man. So now it kind of forces people to make sure they kind of make the better, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because overseas you can end up on the street as a woman with kids versus the West. That's like almost impossible, right? Like
Mhm.
housing programs, welfare. So I think that's the big difference where girls are like, look, I could really be homeless out here underneath a bridge with kids, and
Mhm.
that's completely fine in a different country.
And is divorce pretty big in like China, for example?
No, it's a little bit lower. Especially like a place like Japan, it's developed like us, right?
Yeah.
So net, it's like 2% divorce rate. Babies out of wedlock is extremely low, and it's shame.
Really?
There's shame in that culture. Yeah, it's shame in that. Well, let's just say it's
Japanese
under five
divorce rate
percent.
is really? No
Go
way.
ahead, yeah, check me. Yeah,
I
it's super low.
holy crap.
And shame is a thing over there in that culture. They shame the heck out of you. But people are just refusing to get in relationships then rather than be shamed.
Yeah,
But
that's
exiting.
what yeah.
So that's why they have to pay these things. So that's why I would tell guys, they're like, we need to bring back shame. It's gonna work. And then it's like girls could still be like, I'm not getting married. Bump that. Because that's what they're doing in Japan. They're like, I'm not about to get shamed. I'm about to just stay over here. I think they have a new thing called friendship marriage. So it's just like they're having friendships and then having a contract with them as friends. It's all, I
Mhm.
I guess they innovate in new ways to make it work. But
And
go ahead. What were
in
you going to say?
Asia, do they prefer black guys? And what's the hierarchy and like is race a big do they prefer to date other Asians? Do they like white I'm just
Yeah, I
curious by
think
race how it goes.
I think everybody prefers to date their own. So that's like the baseline. Not even
I
out
don't
of
find that in
particularly like
America.
colorism.
I don't think so for
No, no,
Asian
no,
women.
no, no.
They
Wait,
always
no.
go
I'm going.
white
I'm
and
going.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Wait, wait. Who? Say it
Like
again.
in
Who goes
America,
white?
I see Asian women, they seem to pick white guys first.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, because they're in like a population where it's a majority of whites. You
Yeah.
get me, and that's
Yeah.
like the mono culture. But and then, like I said, it goes down to that culture thing. It goes down to when they get older, they want to connect with somebody more so than just like have the adventures and fun and curiosity and diversity.
Mhm.
So, dude like me always got like girls because they were just interested. They were like, I never been with a black American man. And so I was like, neither have I. But net, that's where we kind of connected.
Mhm.
And so, but it was early on. And then when they get older, they're kind of like, nah, I really want to settle down with someone who can get me, get my customs, my culture. You get what I'm saying? So
Oh.
it's a small fraction. So I wouldn't even say it's based off of the color. Like overseas, if you're a competent male,
Mhm.
fathers would appreciate that because they're like, man's better than the men here locally, just because you might be a high performer in the West or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they kind of respect that. So I've been with girls who dads were politicians, owned banks in Japan, prominent families. But that was because I was, a diplomat
Mm.
working at the U.S. Embassy. I had my life in order.
And are people less superficial there dating? Like, are they more practical in Asia? Like, like in the US, it's very shallow, it's very looks oriented. Would you
Mhm.
say it's the same in Asia or it's a little different?
No, it's a little bit more practical, but not too. Don't go too extreme. But it's a little bit more practical because again, in a developing country, people are trying to secure security, resources,
Mhm.
and so they're gonna put that logic into it because there is no government programs where they're like, all right, I can get some housing. I can't get no housing if I don't secure this relationship
Mm.
or secure some form of security inside of people because there's no state support.
Yeah, got it. Well, thank you so
So it's
much.
interesting.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
for
yeah.
sharing. Sorry for all the questions, but I've always been really curious
Nah,
because
nah.
I've sort of I've thought the same thing that it's really not that different because when I was in London, I would hear so many men have the same complaints and they would be from
Yeah.
more of Africa than Asia on the show, but it would be like
Mhm.
Africa, Eastern Europe, and they would all be like the same thing. Couple
Yeah, yeah.
One of the worst women I ever had on my show was Italian. My God, it was the craziest
Oh,
lady
yeah, yeah,
ever.
yeah. But there's some differences. I'm not gonna say there's none.
Mhm,
Dudes be, passport bros be going crazy. But what I'm just saying is like, it's changing, it's evolving.
mhm.
At the end of the day, as you say, I think it would be just best for dudes to focus on having a great life. And it is what it is, man. You gotta let people ride out. If they make choices, they make them. But hey, you gotta win. Don't lose. Go out here and do your thing, and keep doing your thing on YouTube because we greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Peace out.
All right, guys, that is my last caller for the day because I got to go win a volleyball game, and I think they're here. So, anyways, guys, I'm considering doing a later show, but I do like to play volleyball on Fridays. So, if you have a time you guys suggest, I want to get the best call-ins. I might experiment with a late night one, but I don't want to be up half the night. So I'm like, anyways, let me know what you think. I'm too old for volleyball. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm the youngest one at this league. It's not that competitive. Anyways, like the video, guys, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. See ya. Bye bye. 24/7 stream. Are you nuts?